I just realized the audio was completely off. How's it going, everyone? Oh, cool. Nice.
I just started this semester, so I'm hoping to get further into it. Yeah, yeah, like, that's a good program. Like, yeah, I was like, just the schedule doesn't work with my schedule, so I'm like, lucky in the sense that both my work schedule, I work at an art center, and lucky that works out with me with my school. They're very flexible. That's nice. It was a hard road getting back into school, but I'm here now, and I'm excited. Yeah.
We are going to play some Remembering HUE. What's going on? Yeah, we're live. Do you like being on camera? Okay, you don't have to be.
When'd you get the pizza?
Randy's.
No, when?
4:30.
The idea.
Yeah. Wait, you're worried?
That, I mean, that's kind of where I started, like, at the end of December. I just was making 20 videos around 2020. So that's, like, where I started, and then, like, just, like, videos and stuff like that. And then I was, like, making videos. Which is funny, because it's doing that, but not in my current job except for it. Because they're like, oh, you know Python. No, let me qualify this.
The standards down here. You're up here.
No, I think that's good.
Usually, when they say that they don't usually need somebody to fix things. Just like, this is my light. This is my light. This is just understanding. Hello.
Yeah, for playtesting. Or no, we were co-working. I'm live on Twitch right now. Alright, well, you're welcome to be in the stream if you want. Not everyone loves being on camera as much as me.
Podcast right now.
That's what we're doing.
Let's talk about pizza.
We're gonna play Remembering HUE. That was the trailer for Remembering HUE. Oh, I guess it's also got the full gameplay included as well, but we're gonna play it here. This is by community member Matt Marino and Freaky Freeze, who I've never met, but we're gonna play this game as soon as it's downloaded here.
Yeah, but it's like, at the same time, like, I can't translate that to a program.
I heard this is gonna be in Oak City Indie Games. Oh, for real?
But then,
No spoilers then if you're looking forward to Oak City Indie Games.
I think that's where the education program it comes in, because they give you have to know the language, and it's something you need to translate it into that language.
which is fun, because you think, like, oh, geez, this would be, it's kind of like foreign language, not like working with
So yeah, like, I draw pictures. To be fair though, the fact that I did as much as I did on paper, programming is for me.
And that's what matters. Like, just anyone who says otherwise, it's okay.
Maybe a little.
That isn't necessary. The only reason why I'm doing combat programming is because I started my spouse started since playing. I don't know why. So he was salty. And I'm just sitting there starting.
Really nice audio in this game. I was noticing that. I mean, the first thing you notice is the visual style here. Claymation style, shader and everything. Nice smooth movement. The mouse is very sensitive.
keep biting and keep doing it. Yep. The middle sister. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah.
I think I need yellow for that. Okay. There we go.
11.
Yep. Yep.
There we go. It's nice area design. You don't leave till you've mastered the mechanic there. I'm feeling we're gonna have the same thing here. So I've got red.
Yep.
Really? That's news to me. I didn't know that.
Wait, no, and your grandparents also struggle to pronounce your Yep. 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 Oh, well, that makes sense because like because of the TH
Yep.
being in a Joe being
Ow.
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 Yep. Yep. I've never met anybody like that. Yep. I mean, my full name is to be undisclosed because I honestly hate it.
Mag's narrative gremlin.
That's the narrative gremlin. It's a beautiful name. They spelled it weird.
Paint the fountain market as a checkpoint. If you're caught by Greevils, your paint will be sapped away, and you'll need once more to run your brush through the fountain to restore it. Okay, I see. Greevils is a great name for a baddie. Try and mix a new color to open this door. You can access the mixes menu from the palette. Find it with the buttons in the center. C to open the palette. Okay. So how do I mix? I need red and blue, right? Mix color. Blue, red. Oh, okay. I used up that color. Interesting. Okay. This is like very Donkey Kong 64. It's a Greevil. It's a Greevil. I bet I can trap them in here. Oh, they're safe from Greevils. That's good that all of the colors also have shapes. Painting a crate will allow you to push it around. Needs to be orange though. See,
That's kind of
mix.
like what works with a lot of other games too. Like when the character design is very smooth and I have issues with when people look similar
learn that I taught this English. So I happen to miss anyone's name. I like so apologize. So see that in a video game, I'm going to look like such a fool. When I say,
Push now.
and they're just like, you mean this person? I'm like,
What? Oh wow. Does that reset it?
Can't think of anything right now, of course, but
yeah. I think it's also like it's the restriction of style sometimes too, because
pretty hard.
yeah, and you have like everyone's supposed to be like this grim, like Britain war veteran vibe.
Yeah.
You're like there's only so many characters that you go through until it's like you have the 90 euros and 900.
This is from Matt Marino. It's called Remembering Hugh.
That sounds
Have
super.
you met him? He did the music for Horseradish, Peckish, Peckish Ponies.
You kind of get, you can overlook the unfortunate aspects of the fortune.
I'm wondering if I'm missing something with how the boxes get pushed. If I smack it again. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It resets. Versus. Okay, interesting.
I love the lines.
Yeah. Okay. So the
It's like a global post process.
it must be like. Well, it's very reminiscent of watercolor lines, right? So if you do ink and then you do watercolor over it, the lines kind of start to bleed a little bit like that. And it's got that claymation style, like wiggly wobbliness, which I really like. It makes everything a lot more alive. Yeah, the lighting and colors are really good in this. Wait, this is back to the beginning. Did I miss something? Oh no. Maybe I learned everything I need to learn. Yeah, it's Remembering Hugh. So I don't know what the deal with the trees is yet. Here's a corrupted shrine. Painting it will restore light to this level. You need 5 droplets of any color to purify the shrine. You can do it. Okay, so that's my objective. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I definitely have enough. Do I need... It only needs to be the same color? 1? Okay. Oh, I think we got it. Okay. Do you want to give it a go?
No, you're good.
Okay. Interesting how the color's slowly coming back now. Is it everything that I interact with? Almost looks like it. That's cool. I feel like I need to touch everything to make it come back to life now. Well, let's see this grass come back to life. Okay, cool. Thank you. It is brutal. Okay, I'm missing one red, I think. I should be able to... What's going on? No, but the talk starts at 7? Told him 7:10. Good. There's a little pizza left over too. Go on. Maybe like 6 slices.
So I don't want to be a
It's for the event, so you're welcome to partake.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got our first comment. Sorry for bothering you. I want to offer a promotion on your channel. How do I ban? I don't even... Yeah, I don't remember how to even do... It's like first time chat. Just pin it. I have this stuff condensed more on my personal view. This is how you do that. You say, get out of here. Orthopedics. Okay, let me see. All right, cool. That's taken care of. It's Remembering Hugh. What's up, Jeff?
How's it going?
We're live on Twitch and YouTube for our audience of one.
I did not know I was. What do they call that? Photo bombing or
No, you're fine.
stream bombing?
No, you're fine. You're barely in the camera at all. So yeah, we're playing Remembering Hugh. You played this 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen it since.
Do you want to play a little bit right now while I'm
Sure.
while I go? Make sure everyone.
Have you played much already?
No, you're good though.
Wait a second.
Something
Something is.
Ooh, I like the visual style here. Look at that. Is that all post-processing?
It must be.
I think his controller turned off.
Did you have WSD one?
Is that the way he was playing before?
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, this game was at ECGC 2021, I think, or 20, or either 2021 or 2022.
Remembering Hugh.
Did somebody here make it? Or...
Yeah, Matt Marino made it.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a part of the SG.
Yeah, I remember Matt. He was he interned at FunCon briefly.
He's really multidisciplinary.
Yeah,
I think he did.
I love. Yeah.
Audio.
What are the controls?
C is to open your color menu where you can mix the colors, and you have to mix the purple and the orange. I haven't done green yet, so I don't know what that does.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Some point. Alex, you were doing a video, right? With. Wait. Whose game is this? You don't look familiar, but I can't.
Yeah, I remember meeting you. Like,
Easy Matt.
Weird.
where else do you live?
No, I've been mainly
Is it like see what stuff to play on it.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
it was the VR meetup.
Very cool.
Or
Or live.
because I was going
Yeah,
live.
the paper is amazing. Like everything has like this wiggly outline. You can't really see
Yeah.
it from the back.
If you sit still, you can see things like
Yeah.
moving
Oh, I missed
every.
that.
That seems like about every half second.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's screen space too.
Nice. Would they tell
Really?
you anything?
Yeah.
But it's on the edges of the model, so I would think it's either like
free drinks.
Is it on the
Okay.
So
Still
my
on
theory is that
or
it's
is
not
it
the
on-
edges of the model. It's just they're shifting the UV slightly.
okay.
Just a
interesting.
theory.
So where the tune ramping is, it does have it a little bit. So
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at where the tune lines are for the ramp.
Mhm.
I don't see it
Right.
as much on that.
It's I see it there.
We're trying to
I see it on the ramps.
yeah, we're trying to decide how it was.
Alright. I'm team post processing.
I think so too.
I really like how thin the outlines are. Was the controller working for you
I don't
before?
think it's working for me.
It's just, it's just a static clip between two different. Like if you look at all of the different lines, they go from one state to another, back to that state to another. It's just flipping.
Someone's got to be yellow.
think-
Press
you think
three to
it-
push to yellow.
Do you think it's flipping back and forth?
Oh, I watched it do it.
You don't think it's random noise?
No.
Like Krillin or something?
It's hard to.
If you stare at the wall real quick, it's like if you stare
Oh, you're right.
at any of those lines, you can see they go from one state to another, back to the original.
So it still might be random noise, but it's just two sets of random noise.
Maybe.
Huh.
I guess it doesn't matter at that point. It's two states. You're right. That's my my inner programmer in me trying to be like, no, I'm right.
Try playing that bridge. It looked like it was like a big.
Which bridge?
To your right. To your right. To your left. There. That one.
This one?
There was like a big like.
On my project that I work on at work.
See how it's
Me and this
I think I found something that I shouldn't have.
He's, I'm an L4 now. He's an L5.
So it needs to be green, but I don't think I've collected green yet.
That's a good comment. Something I was doing. I was like, oh yeah, I do need to do that or this or that. And so, but he asked me to do one specific thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
Maybe
So I did that, and then I added in some checks to make sure that that was going to work. And then he looked
it
at
has to be like another way
on
over
the
there.
comment thread on my CL, when I changes, he goes,
I don't
talking to
know.
himself, essentially, he goes, oh, yeah, no, I think we can
Uh,
just get rid of this.
So I remember the first time that I played it, that the pickups like
This.
they
And
kind
then
of
the
show
last
you
comment he made before
where
he
you
gets
haven't
involved
been
was, you know what you did was
and
fine.
the right route to get there.
So
Yeah.
it is funny, like
So
programmer
you
being
like
like,
paint stuff, or what is the?
Yeah.
end up arguing with yourself.
So it's from what I remember when I played it before, you collect paints and with those paints you mix them and then you solve puzzles by applying certain colors in different situations. And so C button. Michael said purple and green is something that hasn't been used yet, but I don't think I've picked it up.
So he's streaming though at the same time on Twitch.
Yeah, I just jumped right in. I have no idea what's going on. I just did like a 12-hour shift at work too.
I got it about
Okay, yeah. I think I'm the first in the previous way or the previous build of this. You could push this. I think.
Verify it so the green skull looks wild.
Right.
I had to delete this, 'cause when you put get LFS into the plugin folder, it overwrites
Maybe-
all of the original Git plugin files. Which I guess used to work for UE4. Can't do that with UE5. It doesn't recognize it as being. Well, it doesn't recognize it.
So I'll try. So I've got orange. So there's, yeah. There's like, there's some kind of a, like a, yeah. I think you have certain amounts of colors too.
Source control for Unreal. You can use the ESC.
And so you think the bridge needs to be green?
It says source forget, and it knows that, and it can deal with that. But then what I also found out is the way to get connect to the repo.
It does look like the right outline. I think I need to be on it or something.
Because you can't do it. At least I couldn't get it to do it.
I have no idea.
just from the phone.
Maybe those.
You have to go
I
in
feel like
the
those blocks.
Get up and get back, get in there, get pull the repo into the folder, and it pretty much needs to be blank.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have.
That needs to be orange.
Yeah, it didn't like most of what I was
Maybe.
trying to do, but then it finally was just like,
What were you
yeah,
saying?
You go in, you open this folder, you do Genesis, you get clone, and then you have to set up the origin path, and then you can do stuff.
What are you using LFS for?
So that
just
worked,
to make sure that, cause it
but I don't know if I can move
I
it.
know it's for big files.
Yeah,
What big files?
Oh, no, it was because we were, we wanted to make sure that we could just send each other the project. Or something like that.
I mean, if it's on Git, you don't need to send the project. You can just kind of pull it. Right?
So I've been here before,
Full disclosure,
and I don't think you can jump on these.
I just went with it, I got it working.
I feel like
I was like, you know what?
Programmer taking.
I feel a little more
Whatever,
lost
you got this.
having jumped in midway
Take your-
because
take your
like
time.
I haven't
No,
explored it,
because they
you know?
Actually, like, they had said that they
but
experienced
I mean the
making
colors
music.
do
And I
help
was
with
like,
that.
Probably big FPS files, which I can't imagine.
It's I think it's
FPS file being
oh I
big
should
about
I
it.
had fall damage.
Cuthbert's rolling and moving around. They didn't expect all that to be done now. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah,
I can't
I
do
thought.
anything. Yeah, I can't do anything with this yet. It's cool, but I can't do anything with it. Like I don't even have a landscape yet. It's just got LFS stuff.
Yeah.
But now that is so cool because we have the Git repo set up. So now I'll be able to get the project onto Christina's laptop, and then we can start working co-working space.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was pain. Everybody else seemed to be taking different paths to do it, and they end up asking hard.
Oh,
And you can't. They have Bard integrated into Google search, and if you type in certain things without like any gear limit, Bard will spit out something on just the Google search page.
Right.
Not the same as what Bard gives you if you just go to bard.google.com. Weird, but you know, it worked. I thought that's something funny that everybody has their own way, their own issues, but it's like nobody has a plan. How's the card game go?
Pretty good. I haven't spent. I don't know if you heard me when I was walking. I haven't spent as much time on it as I want to. Not yet. I have another thing I'm working on that's like due December 1st. But after December 1st, I'll have like a week at the very end of the jam where I think I can just stitch it all
We get all
together.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened to me at the last jam. I just distracted with something else and did all the programming and level design and everything. At the end of it, like
Yeah.
that game is about maybe 48 hours back of work. It was not great, but I mean it worked.
Yeah. That's just game jams, though.
You work with what you have what you work with.
Yeah.
I got distracted by all the stuff. It was like it was terrible. Absolutely.
But you know what? You did the first one, and that just means you pick what you learned from the first, but the second.
Don't get distracted by a video game.
So, how do you win this game?
That's a good question. I don't know how many levels there are, but it's like a 3D platformer puzzle thing. So either you collect enough things, or you unlock things, or complete things. That's what I gather from it. Do you want to try from the beginning?
No, I don't think I'd be able to figure it out.
Like, so there's one of the cool aspects of this is there's like a color mixing mechanic. So you have to know about like painting
Right.
color theory a little bit to like figure that out, or you just try it and then you get different amounts of this, and so you use the right color in the right situation, I think, to
Seems like a game that desperately use a how-to manual somewhere in the menu.
Yeah, that's fair. It's possible it teaches some of it at the beginning. I jumped in
Oh,
what seems like 3/4 of the way through this.
I see.
that might be it.
But it's still good to have tooltips in the menu.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the aesthetic. It looks fun.
Looks great.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it's like you. I have no idea what the point is.
There's no
Yeah.
sign. Yeah, there's no signposting or signposting where you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But sometimes it's okay though. Like if your goal is just to paint everything, then that's all you need to do.
Well,
yeah, if it's just like a casual paint stuff.
Even if the goal is just to paint stuff, there should be something that tells you that. Maybe you know, like you said
Oh, like
at the beginning.
like a percentage that says
Yeah,
like 90%
something.
completed, like painted or something.
How are we looking?
I haven't really progressed any since. Oh, okay. So I definitely tried green before and it didn't work.
Usually, if it needs a color, it'll like highlight it.
Yeah. I'm basically. I think I'm stuck. Alex said you found a way to move these boxes some.
Yeah, if they're orange, you paint them orange, you can move them. She mixed orange yet? It's two.
Yes.
It's been
So I definitely used orange on this and it
I've never
turned
played it.
brown.
last week I've been using their online thing.
Is it-
Anything that you touch turns that color, or fills it with its natural color.
Okay. Is there- well-
Yeah.
Has this been pushed as far as it can go or something?
I think that one's not a pushable one. It would be bright
This
orange.
one.
That one is, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pushable one.
Yeah.
I think there's
Jump over it and go to the other side.
I think there's like a kind of a collision issue. I could try other colors just to see what happens.
Definitely orange. Yeah, there's like a certain tree at a point in the level where you fill it with, I don't know what you would say. Paint droplets? Like you need like five.
Oh, you know, yeah. Because like, it's even
Yeah.
walk.
Would you like to move on to the next game of the evening?
Sure.
We have a few in the queue here, and we have about 30 minutes before the talk begins. That was Remembering HUE by Matt Marino and Freaky Freeze.
Cool.
This is Parking Ticket Mayhem by Raccoon Formality.
By the way, Raccoon Smiley said there is swearing.
Oh, in this game?
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Formality.
Well, you too.
I didn't put for children on YouTube, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've played this.
You played it already?
Yeah,
Okay, I haven't played it yet.
it's pretty
Can
fun.
I get in the hot seat?
Sure.
Yeah.
Someone who has not played it, please play it.
I don't sit over here and commentate.
Is this controller or
I think
mouse?
it's mouse. You
Mouse.
might have to turn the sensitivity down since it's WebGL.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's already
Yeah,
at the
leave it
bottom,
low.
so. All right.
What the fuck? God damn it!
Okay.
Fuck!
All right.
Grab some takeout. Why the fuck are you giving me a fucking parking ticket?
Thanks for the heads up, Matthew.
damn it. Fuck!
They can't even.
Fuck this. I'm
Okay.
not taking this anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
We got a comment on the review that
Oh yeah? What did someone say?
it was from like, oh, it's from like,
Okay. Yeah, John. Did it say I'm waiting outside? Someone come get? Okay.
thankfully I
this reminds me of like those old '90s games
Yeah.
where you just like pausing.
Like, you ever played the original Driver?
No.
Yeah, I've seen games. Like
That was like, it came out before GTA 3, and it was really cool. But then GTA 3 added like shooting, everything better.
Okay.
I wrongfully told you to turn the sensitivity all the way down. I noticed you like.
Yeah, it's real hard to move around, but that's okay. Actually, it's not hard to move around. It's hard to aim.
Oh.
Nothing.
find the bug?
It's just the most that exists.
Okay, good.
I mean, that's your gut. Not fixed. Well, clearly you did.
What? What is the point of letting us come out here if there's nothing out here? Oh, this is funny.
What? Oh no, it's just.
Yeah, it's just more cars. It's the same parking lot. What's funny to me is, can I hit my own
You
car?
cannot hit your own
You
car.
can't hit your own car. That's pointless. All right.
How
That's
did
it.
that one lose the? Oh, once you beat him up.
Yeah. Maybe I need to hit. Maybe if I hit all the cars. Oh, hey. Okay.
Destroy them.
Okay. That's with a baseball bat. That's okay. Just this is a rage simulator. That's all this is.
Exactly what it is.
I'm at 36 million in property damage. Those are rookie numbers. You're gonna get those numbers.
Oh, even more.
No, it's all the same cop. It's all the same set of cop cars. It's all the same cop.
The same cop just keeps like reviving.
Yeah. Let's see what happens if I destroy all the buildings. Can I hold? Ooh. Oh, you can hold and deal more damage for no reason.
Pretty good impact for
Yeah.
very simple animation there.
Oh, and I don't have to be right up on the building. I can just aim at it.
6,900,420 damage.
How much? Like what's the highest where you can possibly get?
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna destroy all of this.
I like the flames on top of the buildings. They're kind of cool.
Pretty good. Alright, I killed an entire row of buildings. I'm already at 121 million. I'm serving endless consecutive life sentences. I'm not allowed anywhere near a baseball field.
Hey, you didn't hurt a single person.
They just don't want me to get a hold of another baseball bat. Apparently, I can fell buildings.
Leave that guy alone.
What I want to know is, like, what's the name of this bat? Surely it's like a legendary item or something. Like, it has destroyed buildings, cars. It's still going strong. There's no damage counter.
I wonder if when it
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Alright, that's the last of those buildings. None of those buildings have respawned. How about the rock?
Can you hit the
Can't.
rock?
Nope. Can't beat the rock. His career is not, though. Is that Migi?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, it's not me, but it's like pretty late on in the story. There's another guy. Who has
Oh,
one
with
on
the
his
mouth?
chin.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Parasite.
That was a fun manga to read. Into the
Oh, you
little.
read the manga.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched it. They did the recent.
Oh.
movie adaptation. Actually, well, I guess it wasn't recent. It was 2014 or 2015 at this point.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, I actually read it after that came out because it looked interesting.
There's some pretty epic panels in it. Where like the arm turns into.
Yeah.
It's like very, very classic.
Okay, so what I haven't been able to figure out is, do the cop cars themselves ever actually disappear? I don't think they do. I think you can destroy the buildings. I don't think you can destroy the cop cars, which means that this is pretty much endless. And they just wanted to give people who hate cops an outlet to beat up cop cars. That and Tillman. I don't remember. This is Parking Ticket Mayhem by Raccoon. What?
Raccoon formality.
Formality. Alrighty. Another map. Okay. Well. Yeah, that's it. That's the game.
There could be another. But I mean, you can always restart it and you can pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know how to restart this. You just reload, I guess, because there's no.
Yeah, it's that's the unfortunate.
Is it playing on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a WebGL, so it's pretty like
Okay, cool. You know what they developed that kind
If you would like to take a crack at it, you need to reload the one.
Okay. What did they develop it on? Sorry. At the same time, I think.
No, you're good. I understand. In Unity, I think, but when you're on like itch.io, like each identity
Ah.
yeah, it'll have its own like metadata of like what the like where it's released, if the developer wants to put it like
Oh, okay.
Dodo or whatever.
So itch.io has got a lot of stuff like that hosted.
Yeah, it's a free hosting site for people. If you do sell things on about but yeah, it's free hosting for a lot of indie devs, so if you're looking for either social in the community or just indie devs in general, you do have to happening over here. This is what Michael was talking about for like live streams on the community and then this is my favorite. Yep. So he's been having people play games they want, and then when people are ready for it, and that so we'll edit that part to post on trying series for that. That's how that's it. I don't want to I don't have to like I couldn't see my production. It's once a month for the last month of the Oh no, I streamed the hobby. Oh, you're talking about the assignment? Oh no, it's not for work. My day job is so yeah, this is me learning Unreal and learning how to make games. So last year was Unity, this year is and then in between is Springtime, you can hear that. Yeah, like they're like a little bit smaller, but they're more like So slime is very much like a text-based video. As a slime game. Pop your grenade. Play it. Text-based game. And then Rinky is more like the business. Yeah, and then Rinky is more what you would think of like the visual novels, like the super So they're very.
Like this one is off the quick itch.io.
No, I think that's his own world. Yeah, like two players like whole game, each play on his like on there, it's on there. Caleb is not one. Very obvious the work. One day I'm maybe go and stream it. And then the next table, that has 3 games. Yeah, it's definitely I know someone's planning to make this game for it. I think it started. Yeah, I'm gonna check this game. But yeah, talk about so well, game jam happens like all over the place. And like it's pretty much everywhere I go to when you go with the really go with it and people in South Africa, Kenya, people in Australia, England, that all in Africa stuff. Like where local organizers in the area will take on like everyone's project. It's like this first step, there's like so many people there in how to find that day. Analog games like your tabletop games, yeah. So it's like pretty much anything you consider as a game. Yeah, the board game and so if you're interested, like I'm sure I'll have everything else sooner or later. So you got like you don't have time right now, but it happens yeah. Oh, I ran yeah. No, it's okay. If you're not looking for it, it's fine. Yeah, there's some security people about like something around but the later people get eventually go home. That's a deal.
always yeah. Same thing with the Nintendo 3DS. They're really active community. It actually is there's also a Discord. If you're on Discord, I'll let you use Discord. You have to pick off note cards because it's playing on your phobias. I have like this book. I'm not I really awesome thing when you're trying to set up something. I don't like facing my fears. I don't really get it. It's work. I'm not really doing it. It's actually weird more of a I don't think that's what they do. I don't know. It's not like a like yeah, that shit. I don't know how far I am. I ain't there yet.
Before that, I had I didn't have to
Yeah. Yeah, the problem. Yeah, there's like 5. That's probably why they got the idea.
I mean, I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
Oh, where you from?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool. Okay.
No. It's because of the, I remember they're very, yeah, they're interested in gamble and entertainment in the States that found that their names of the camera and all that. But I was like, at least I'm but yeah, so that might be like I don't get the my day job would be my something to do about AI. So like what they're doing in AI, communicating that they're not that. And they're like, yeah, but man, this one was just 2 weeks before a holiday weekend. It's gonna be a tough one. Oh, okay. Vince is gonna grab it. I am done my running. I've done my part in organizing. Yeah, I think it's skills that end up doing like my environment. So for me, it's like I already had like some exposure into founding, like some like the big system things from that, but it is that the last maybe. Other than that, it's good guys. Wow. Yeah, we're doing something. will say don't skip a lot and don't do those two tables right now. It don't there's we'll make sure you understand.
What am I gonna go home and do?
Yeah, this one does not work. Do not get
It's good. How's it going, everyone? Yes, tripod will be put somewhere more stable. I'm gonna switch to the camera mode here.
Is that the software you're talking about the other day?
That's OBS, yeah. Okay. Close this up. Hopefully that's a good angle there. Put this in here for me. It's not in the way. It is in the way.
Does it have to be plugged in there so you can't?
Yeah, I just want the battery to be fully charged.
I was gonna say otherwise this table might be stable, but I don't know what I'm doing, so.
I don't want it blocking the view of people there.
Oh yeah.
It's going over there. How's it going, everyone? Good. Welcome to Playtest night and speaker night. We're gonna have an awesome talk from Nate in a second here about art theory and games. Before that, I wanted to give a couple quick announcements. Our big showcase event of the year, Oak City Indie Games, is coming up, and I'm sure most everyone in the room already knows about that, but just as a heads up, it's a little bit more limited capacity this year than usual, so make sure if you want to go that you get a ticket early. We're going to be in these two rooms here, and our office next door is kind of our capacity for the event. It's going to be a little bit more focused on peer-to-peer networking than so much of like reaching your audience for your indie game, but that's cool too. The peer-to-peer networking is often really good because developers need a support network. The other thing about a support network is that we have the first game dev community office next door, as far as I know. There might have been another one at some point in time, but like
first TX one.
yeah, if you're interested in like working remotely alongside other game developers or people interested in game development while you do your day job, it's really awesome. We've been working out of there for like a month now. Like I feel great every day when I go home that I'm getting work done and hanging out with people that are really cool. So we do have a couple more spaces available. If you're interested, please come see any of the TAC people. They can point you in the right direction. Come talk to me. It's on our website too. You can check that out. We'd love to have more people in the space, and we also would like to do more events in the space. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. Without any further ado, here is Nate.
Hey everybody,
I'm gonna turn this off. Is it on?
Yeah.
My name is Nate, and I'm here with you today in this delightful little space to talk about art theory in games, specifically in indie games. So I'm hoping that we can have a wonderful little chit chat about what that means and how the privilege of having the art knowledge that I've gathered over my career and over my education can be sprayed into the room, and you guys can slurp it up and apply it into the games that you are going to make now or are going to make in the future. Art has this kind of bad, you got to be able to read tea leaves and smoke a lot of weed to be able to understand what art means. And I think that's really damaging to game developers and artists in the world. So let's work on breaking down those boundaries a little bit. As I said, my name is Art. My name is Nate. I'm an artist in the games industry. I'm an art director in the games industry. This is some of my work. I started about 15 years ago as a freelancer in the games industry after going to school, 2 different schools, UW Parkside, which is a state school in Wisconsin, and Art Department, which is a trade school for concept art in Austin, Texas. Some of my high-profile clients over the years were In Exile and Avalanche, working on Wasteland 3 and Just Cause 4. Before that was 6 years of grinding at anybody that would pay me, working on indie games with folks, doing collectible card game art for $200 a pop, just making ends meet however I could, and I worked my way up to being a director in the games industry, and I'm proud of myself for that. I moved to this area 2018. I've worked at Funcom, which is a local studio that many of you might be familiar with, and some of you might work at currently. And Digimancy Entertainment, which is a fully remote studio that was a startup. Puny Human, which is another awesome studio in the area. And Hyperion Realms is my current studio. I'm an art director there. It's a fully remote studio. That's my website. Feel free to jump on there and peek my stuff if you'd like to look at it more. This is just the I know what I'm talking about slides to kind of demonstrate what I've got here. These were work across many years, personal work, professional work. This is the flashier concept art. There's 2 kinds of concept art. There's the concept art that looks flashy and people put in their portfolios that doesn't matter as much as the really crunchy concept art that communicates ideas best. I'm not here to talk about that though. I'm here to talk about how we can apply art theory to every single art problem that we run into in games. All the way from Pong and something as simple as that, all the way up to a AAA title. Some more pieces. I have no idea how these look on this project. Those are dark. Go to my website. This is some work for Puny Human for 0 Day. I really wish we'd been able to get that title funded and worked on. Here's a little bit more of the crunchy concept art. This is me applying everything we're going to talk about here for how the HUD was going to look like and the UI was going to look like for our main character. I'll get into the details now. All right, so a quick outline. What is our goal? To demonstrate through the lens of games, specifically art fundamentals. Why do we care about this? We care about this because it will increase player engagement. It will increase player response. Our target markets will understand what the stories that you're telling and the journey that you're sending people on when they play your games better, more clearly. And that means that they buy it more and you get more money and you get to sell more and you get more positive vibes for being creative, creating cool things and bringing people with you on this amazing journey called life. Visual stories happening in your indie games, whether you like it or not. It's people are making snap judgments about whether they're going to engage with your title or not the second they become aware of it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that first millisecond of what a person goes through when they are engaging with a new visual image. We are a very beautifully refined machine of hunting for tigers in undergrowth and hunting for berries on bushes and hunting for people being friendly to us or being mean to us. We've developed all kinds of equipment for seeing depth and perspective and color that allow us to quickly assess our environment and make decisions on stuff. And we leverage all of that when we're making games. So to kind of demonstrate that, I want people to think about what those 2 things are. What are those 2 blurry splashes on the screen? I want you to think in your head what those are. And right now, I'm setting you up. You've now established an expectation. Those were already on the screen before I started talking, so you probably knew I was going to talk about them. And now I've asked you a question, you're not sure what those things are, unless you're really smart. This is part of the art journey. You're not getting enough data visually from that to be able to understand what they are. But you know that there's a payoff because I brought them up and they're on the screen during a presentation. So you're willing to invest the visual energy to say, all right, I'll bear with you, Nate. I'll see where you're going to pay this off. Imagine if I hit this next slide and I didn't have anything on the next slide that talked about those things. That's a bad engagement in your game. That's when your art is failing you. When a player has an expectation and they aren't followed through on, that is one step that your player will take away from engaging with your game more. Unless you play with that and invert it and begin to tell, oh, we got you, it's actually over here, you play with that, but you need to establish that cadence of expectation and payoff for the player on a visual level. And that's across all systems, but art specifically, because that turnaround time is milliseconds. We've got a tiger, we've got a donut. Did anybody get it right? You get a high five if you get it right. Nobody gets high fives. Visually, these things aren't too different. They're both stripy. They both have tan and kind of orangey colors to them, and they're both kind of the same shape. I like the hot dog. That does kind of look like a hot dog. But ultimately, they're very different, right? We know that those are different things. If you want to run into one of those in your kitchen, the other one you wouldn't want to run. And so what we've done is we've gone from an abstract shape that we couldn't really identify all the way to full understanding of these two shapes and these two representations of stuff. We are collectively understanding what these are. We've seen pictures of lines if we haven't engaged with them in real life. We know what a donut is. That art is the palette that art works with, is that collective consciousness, that collective symbology that we're all using to create meaning in our games. Why does a health pack have the Swiss cross on it? Because it's been used so often in so many games. It's actually illegal to use it, by the way. They will sue you if you use it. Games. That's a weird little fact. You see people like fixing it and turning it sideways, scraping stuff out of it. But that is an example of I'm going to be showing you a pyramid in a little bit. The bottom of the pyramid is going to be art abstraction, the very fundamental visual meaning we're talking about. And then the very top of that pyramid, the less important stuff, is the semantics, the symbology of those things. So we kind of went from the bottom of that pyramid all the way to the top in a snap. Now let's slow that down and break it down and talk about what each of those is going to mean. This is a little bit of an off-road here. One of the major things to think about when making art in games is to think about contrast. Every truth that you create for your player, every health pack that you establish and the player picks up that health pack and they watch the health bar go up and they go, that's a health pack. That's good. I like those. Those are good. Now you've created a reality for your player. You've created that red line. And as you develop more meaning in your game, the player continues to play through your game, you don't want everything to look like a health pack, right? Because not everything can be a health pack in the game. Maybe somebody gets a really good idea and makes a game that's all health packs. You can credit me on it, but ultimately, most games aren't going to work like that. So you need to create contrast. And there's kind of two levels of that contrast. There's a health pack and not a health pack, which is anything else. And then there's a health pack and a landmark. And those are, one gives me health and one takes health away. So there's kind of this idea of like, you have the absence of a thing, and that's all the contrast that you need most of the time. And then you have the kind of polar opposite of a thing. And so an example would be the blue line is what a landmark would look like. And then we would have everything else somewhere in here or somewhere in here. It's very abstract, bear with me. Any good art director, any good art theorist would understand that you can always take it one direction on a spectrum to get to an opposite. You can also usually take it the opposite direction to get to a spectrum opposite. That's pretty abstract, but I say that all the time at work where I'm like, yeah, we could make this more green, or we can make it red to make a difference, make the player understand that it's different enough. How are we doing? Feeling good?
I'm just
Yeah, go for it.
just a really specific thing. Is it possible to move that cursor?
Yeah!
Okay,
I got you.
I don't know if it's just me or not.
That's actually part of the presentation. Somebody.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. This is that pyramid I was talking about. So when you're creating the logic, the visual logic of your game, the visual logic of an image, the visual logic of a marketing campaign, abstraction is going to be the foundation. We'll talk a little bit about what that means. On top of that is dynamic, which is the rendering, the values, one step up from just the abstract thought of thing background or thing. And then we have colors, lighting, semantic symbolism, and details. We're going to be designers when we make our games. We are going to be very thoughtful about how we care about the visuals. This is going to result in our product being more successful. And whatever success that means, it means that we're attaching to our viewers more. A lot of this is based on a thing called Gestalt principle, which is this philosophy that came out of a bunch of philosophers and a bunch of artists ran with it, and it's kind of the foundation of modernism. We perceive the whole, not its parts. So we are visual organizers. We don't see one leaf on a tree, we see a tree. It's a lot of work seeing all the leaves. So we just kind of go, I got enough data, that's a tree now. I don't need to know that those are individual leaves. And we fight ambiguity and chaos wherever we can. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. All right, what do we got? What is this?
White screen.
You're waiting for something though, right? What's going to happen? Let's assume this is called the ground. In abstract view, this is the ground. This is the background. You start with this. You can't have something without nothing, and this is the nothing. Now we got a thing. Whoa, blowing your mind here. Now we have a thing. Now we have a figure and a ground. We have everything we need to tell a story. We can begin moving that box around. We can make it a circle. We can make it a triangle. We've now got figure and ground. And that's basically all right there. Good job. Show up. We can make those different shapes. We can begin to play with those and begin to call on that collective cultural consciousness. If you ask the entire world, have everybody look at this image and say, which one of these is going to roll? 99 humans out of 100 humans on the whole planet are going to point at the circle. In any language that you ask that, however you communicate, people are going to get that. That's fascinating. That's a hack, right? That's something that we can take advantage of as visuals. And the thing that's really weird about this is you knew that. I'm just pointing it out. That's how I feel like a lot of this art fundamental stuff is. It's just being aware of it is the hard part because it's so fundamental and that millisecond happens so fast. So these are some Gestalt principles. Going from left to right, we have closure. Everybody in this room knows that's a G. I hope. I don't want to, I guess I shouldn't put people in box. Everybody that knows English and has internalized English will know that that's a G. They're filling in that space. Your brain is doing that work for you. That's really not what it is. If I do this, and this, this, those are very different shapes that don't add up to a G. But your brain is going, that's a G. Proximity, if you scattered those boxes across the entire screen, you would have no idea it's an E. As soon as you put them together in that orientation, it becomes an E. Continuation is that white line is broken, fully broken by the S. There is no actual white line behind it. There's no pixels behind the pixels. But your brain is filling that in and you're beginning to see depth in that S. Similarity, those T's are related. They have the same pattern, same shape. They're somehow related in your brain without you even doing any work at all. That's why all health packs in games look the same, because once you've established that similarity does all that work for you. Not every health pack the player walks up to, they gotta go, is that a health pack? I don't know. It looks very much like the last health pack, but this one might be different, even though it looks exactly the same. And then we have figure and ground, which is this interplay of what's in front of the other. So you have the A and then that negative space of that tree, and that begins to play in the mind. How are we doing? How are people feeling? Any questions? Awesome.
Great.
Great. Two more Gestalt principles. Isomorphic correspondence. Isomorphic correspondence is sharp thing stabs me, sharp thing dangerous. It's one of the reasons every single bad guy in every single video game has spiky armor. They look dangerous to touch and to hold and to hug. You don't want to hug him or her. And then on the right, you have something that's softer and looks like it will sit on a table. If you turn gravity on in there, one of them would tip over, and it's causing a little bit more tension. It's causing a little bit more like, you feel that in your heart. You're just like, that's less secure than the other one next to it. And then invariance is the human brain is so good at what it does that it can recognize shapes from multiple directions and perspective. These on the A, those are exactly the same. They're completely different. But they look the same, right? They're the same shape. You get it. And B, you're like, oh, those are kind of the same family. C, we can start to morph those, and as long as we morph them uniformly, they start to read, and then the last one, they're completely represented differently, and they still make sense. Did you have a question?
Yeah. For the invariance,
Yes.
why did you choose the donut that didn't look like a donut? Because we probably would have known it was a donut if it had been the round.
Yes. Yeah. The donut not being a donut is the beginning part of that perception of a thing. I wanted to pause that journey of not understanding at all and then understanding in a really critical moment. I spent a lot of time figuring out how much I could blur that where it still would, you'd see it for real and you'd go, ah. But
And
if I
if
made
it were a typical round donut, we probably would have known.
And that is an example of using that cultural awareness to be able to say, okay, what's the bare minimum of recognition? What can I do to communicate that idea as simply as possible? But yeah, I wasn't trying to have you relate to that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Oh, I related.
Was that, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. All right, we got Super Meat Boy. We're going to analyze Super Meat Boy as a game, visual, to talk about how we're using these and how Super Meat Boy leverages these Gestalt principles to create meaning. So we're basically going to talk about each level of that pyramid and then take a look at a game that does a good job doing it and then move up the pyramid. So I'd like somebody to point out, and I can go back to the other slide if we're stuck. Where's an example of similarity in this game screenshot from Super Meat Boy? Similarity, again, being things that have the same shape and the same distribution of color are probably the same thing. Boom, saw blades. If I run into one saw blade, that turns me into mush. Probably all of them will. That's a really good assumption that the player can make. They only need to run into one saw blade to figure that out. If they had to run into 10, 15 to figure that out every time they did it, they probably wouldn't play the game. So that's a really important way of doing that. Proximity. And that is many things being together, creating a whole. Any examples? You just shout it out.
That hanging bunch of round brick blocks, whatever those are.
These guys, yeah.
Those are clearly, they represent their own thing, but at the same time, I don't know if it's a thing, but they also just stand out as being so different than everything else too. But
yeah, the proximity is the fact that they're close together means that they are one solid piece that looks like it's hanging. Just like these floor pieces, they have black lines between them. They're separate pieces, but because they're close together, you're like, floor, wall, ceiling. And then you can go meta and you can say, well, the pixels themselves. And I would say, go to art school, you get an A+. Continuation, which is things going behind things and being suggested to have continued through a thing. Anybody?
Some of the song worms. We don't assume that really doesn't exist.
Exactly. Another great example, I think, on top of the saw blades is these construction arms that go in and out behind things. You immediately think that this is a big machine that's on purpose built and is part of the environment. If those weren't there, they would feel less maniacal, less built on purpose, less constructed to be Super Meat Boy's nemesis. So they add a lot to world building, and they also give a reason for those saw blades to spin, but that's meta. And then isomorphic correspondence. This one's an easy one. What looks dangerous?
The wall.
The wall, the big saw blade. Yeah, the wall. This one right here. That's the danger one right there. If the player was looking at this screen and everything was spiky, one, they would be confused because is the wall dangerous? So the fact that that rock isn't spiky is isomorphic correspondence, and it contrasts the spikes. If this was a little spiky and that was super spiky, it would probably still work. But the fact that it's not, it kind of makes sense. All right. We're through abstraction. That's the hard part, y'all. We did it. Now we're in dynamic. This is a little bit more easy to understand. Everything above this is pretty straightforward. Dynamics. I'm going to quickly talk about this because it's relatively straightforward. Shape. We talked about triangles, squares, and circles. That's actually dynamics. That's not abstraction. Again, if you really strip it down, abstraction is literally just the concept of an entity and a ground. That's how deep it goes. It's really even harder to talk about it and show it. So that's why I made those circles and squares earlier. The edges of these things. We begin to break up edges to give the illusion of depth, the illusion of fog, make something look like aluminum or a plush based on its edges. And then values. Most games work with 10 sets of values, and that's it. The human mind can perceive way more than that, but you don't really need more than that. And then perspective, which is the 2D suggestion of depth based on math and angles and stuff like that. We'll talk about all of these. The abstraction lays underneath, and then the dynamics begin to talk about why the things are the way they are. So examples of edges, pretty straightforward. How the edges play from top to bottom to side will change. We're going to look at a painting next. This is a painting by Richard Schmidt. He passed away recently. He's an awesome painter on the East Coast. He's making a bunch of abstract shapes look like a house in a field and trees. Nobody in I hope nobody in this room was like, I can't see a house or a tree or a field there. But you can pretty much see. We're softening the edge of this tree. Why? Because the tree's edge is in part. It's not a house. We're putting this in front of this in depth. This is darker than this. So I can tell that this is not this. And it's separated by that soft edge. So I know the tree is softer even though it's in the foreground. Your eye immediately goes to this spot right here, which is the focal point, because of the contrast of the edges being sharper, the values being more different. And that's fundamental in image making, but it's also a great example of what I'm trying to explain. This is Force. This is an image from Force. This is Human Anatomy by Mike Matesi. If you're trying to learn art or anatomy or drawing, this is a fantastic resource. These are a bunch of brush stroke or chocolate strokes on a page, and they're oriented in such a way as to communicate massive meaning and massive storytelling. You can feel the person sitting in space. You've assumed poses like these in your life, and you can relate to how these feel. And all they are is a couple of scrapes of a rock on a page. And this would be edge work and how you're pulling that shape, and when they get soft and when they get hard, and how form rolls. That's like all video games use 10 values right there. That's it. That's all. That's all you need. Just 10. And then perspective, which is way more complicated than I'm going to get into in here. Way more complicated than I can get into here, but ultimately know that it's out there for you. You're making a 2D game. You have things in the foreground moving faster than things in the background. And you start to get parallax, and you start to get depth. So even if you have a 2D game, some of these theories can be used by you to create a vibe for you, a mood, and build that player experience. All right, we're at colors. This is the digital color wheel. The color wheel that you learned in elementary school, or at least that I learned in elementary school, is a lie. Red and green are not opposites. Yes, yes. And this is, I remember learning this in art school, and like my painting color theory went from like C- crap to like, oh yeah, he knows how to paint light now. And so I really want to talk about this. Every web page you look at, every digital image you look at is using this, or it looks right. And so if you're ever having issues with color with your game, reference this and work from this. No questions, okay. Value is more important to the eye. Our eyes do perceive things than color. We do not see colors as quickly as we see values. We establish a value pattern first, and then we see color. I had an art teacher that worded it really well. Value is the cake, color is the icing. We really miss color when we don't have it. We can't see it. It's really not as potent as I think we think it is. What's the brightest, the highest chroma block in red? Which one looks the brightest to your eye? The most saturated.
7.
Right in here? Yep. What about blue? 7. What about yellow?
3.
2. Nice. You got probably 4 or 5 in here. And then this projector is really roughing up the cyans, but we're in here maybe? Yeah. Notice how the color that you're using is brightest at different values. You cannot make everything in your game 4 and expect red to be the brightest thing on the screen. So you have to know what note goes with the color hue that you're using, what value goes with the hue that you're using to get the most impactful where you're at. You see a lot of this in glows in video games where it's white and then it has a little bit of a green edge on it or a purple edge on it. And that fall off, if it's done correctly, will actually make your eye respond as if you're looking at the sun. It'll actually kick off a response of,
that's too bright and your eye will dilate, even though there's not any more light coming out of it than a screen would normally have. So you can use this to kind of manage color in your game.
How do you define brightness? Because, like, for instance, I said 2 because that is a brighter yellow, while 3 is a deeper yellow. So, how do we define brightness?
Brightness is a bad word. I shouldn't have said that one. That's a naughty word. Generally, hue is the flavor of the color, regardless of value. And then there is saturation, which is the amount of that hue present in a space.
Gotcha.
There's many more words that you can get into art theory deep land about. Okay, well, what's the difference between chrome and hue? But ultimately, brightness is it lacks the specificity of what the other words that we're using, if that makes sense. And the thing is, it's perceptive. If you are looking at a very white page in a black room, guess what color it is? It's not white, it's black, because you don't have any light hitting it. And so all these terms are relative, and they change. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but your eye will put the opposite hue, the opposite temperature color in the shadows of a shape based on the light that's hitting it. So you're adding color to the world around you because your brain wants you to make sure that you can see that tiger really quickly or that donut really quickly. And that helps us do it. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But ultimately, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
Yep. All right, so this is the screenshot from Super Meat Boy with all of the values put to the middle. Can we see it? Can we see the red?
Yeah, right.
So we're using the red. What's the brightest? What's the most saturated spot on the screen?
Super Meat Boy.
That makes sense, doesn't it? I want my main character to stick out, to especially with a platformer like this.
There's a timer. That is a different red,
Yeah, this is pretty saturated. I think this is the larger block, and that's more broken up and has more edges on it. I can tell the developer went, people want to see their character, but I know that people are going to want to see their time out of the corner of their eye so that they can know how good they're doing or how bad they're doing. I think this was a balance between hardcore players that care about their time and everybody else that just wants to survive and scrape them up. What's the second most vibrant thing? Vibrancy is another word for blood, right? Makes sense, right? The more you play the game, the more the game helps you understand what you're running into, where you messed up. The game literally says, here's a danger spot, watch out. And yeah, you already did it, now stop it.
Except that one saw blade must be safe, the one with no blood on it, right?
Yeah, this one's safe. It's not the same. It's not the same. So this is that same image with just values and no saturation. Way easier to tell what's going on, right? So that's that separation of the value, it's the wrong word, the amount of feedback that your player gets from value versus color. And that's the netted together. Temperature, color has temperature. This is kind of a tricky concept to understand. There are colors that are warm and there are colors that are cool, and they are fuzzy and they don't really, they change based on the environment and based on the eye and based on whether you're male or female or whether you have color deficiency like I do or you don't. Everybody has their own package that they're bringing to exact color temperature. So it's kind of less scientific, but also more very beautiful in how that works. The general rule of thumb is on one end of the spectrum you have sunlight, which is about 5,000 degrees Kelvin, so it's actually past here. That's what our eyes perceive as white light. It's actually slightly yellow light, but it's the sunlight. We've evolved to have that be default. And then for some reason, there's not a lot of light up until you get fluorescent bulbs in more recent times that was cooler than that. You get a lot of firelight and things like that that were warmer than that. So when you go into a light bulb store, generally people will have something between a 5,000 bulb, and then you can go all the way to like 4 degrees Kelvin, and it's this deep dark red that you can't even see. This is a more intimate lighting, very generally, and this is a more active light, because you're outside and you're looking for tigers instead of looking for donuts because you're saving your character. And so I think that this applies across the specific hue that you're running into. Reds will have cooler and warmer reds. Blues will have warmer and cooler blues, even within the hue family that is blue. And there are, like, blue is generally a cooler hue than a red would be. And I'm going to talk about why this makes sense in a little bit here. These are two portraits. One of them is of Richard Schmid here. He didn't paint this, but he's subject. And it's really hard to see because of the projector. Trust me here. We have a figure that has cool light on their skin, and these shadows are a rich warmth. They're the opposite here is true, where we have a warm light and cool shadows. And basically what these painters are doing, and what the next slide and what games do, is if your light source is warm, make your shadows cool. Doesn't matter if that's cell shaded, anime, AAA, it's just a really good rule. And if you break it, you break it on purpose. Know that you're breaking it to get an alien feel, or you're monochromatic. And then if your lights are cool, have warm shadows. You can go either direction, and your brain, if you make both neutral, your brain will it'll make a decision, and it'll have one work and one not. Because your brain is going to automatically add a little bit of hue or saturation. This is relatively similar palettes across GTA 5 and Plants vs. Zombies. This is actually a really good example. So this is a warmer green, and that is a cooler green. That's on purpose. And it's uniformly different across every spot. Every different color across this has a warmer light and a cooler dark. And the same is true of this because they're using naturalistic lighting. The light here is warm, the sun is low in the sky, so we're getting evening golden hour, and our shadows are cooler. Trust me, you can't really see it, but it's there. All right, now we're getting to lighting. Any questions before I move on? Can I drink water? Lighting is a little tricky because lighting, although very high in the pyramid, influences value patterns. It influences your abstract values. The way that I like you to think about this is not that you have an abstract level, you have a figure in the ground, and each of these is representing that figure in the ground differently. The dynamics, though, these shapes are very different and are evoking different moods and are very different. And the abstract shapes that become the values, the value groupings, become very different based on where that light source is. So you have to think about light as you're thinking of the abstraction. Generally, the first thing I think about is, what is my light source, where is it, and what temperature is it? If I know those three things for an illustration, I know how to make the illustration work. I can make it relatively good. Here are 9 different images. This is from Wutha, who made up the pyramid. I forgot to give a shout out to Wutha. Wutha.com if you want to check out all this stuff. Great artist and great art teacher. So these actually read pretty well. Same exact environment, completely different lighting, completely different moods. We've got scary, creepy fire. We've got, nighttime. We've got daylight. We've got smoky, post-attack. All these things feel very different and create different moods, all based on lighting. And then that last 3, it's kind of up to your target market. I'm not even going to get into them. This is a painting by Dave Raposa of Super Meat Boy that basically takes into account those last 3. Because the game didn't even need it. The game didn't need to bother with those last 3 to be very successful. I think AAA spends a lot of money right here that indie devs don't have to bother with, because the bar is lower and you're down here. You're creating mood and establishing your points. You don't have the budget or the time to worry about this, and you don't actually need to create a very meaningful experience. That's it. That's all we got. Feel free to contact me at that address if you want somebody to look at your game, you just want to talk about art. I am 100% available, and I would love to help anybody out for any reason to talk about art or anything else. There's the portfolio again. I want to thank TX for bringing me in. Thank you so much for organizing stuff and make it happen. It's so cool. Did I say it wrong?
No.
Okay.
No, you did the new correct way to say it.
Very cool. Very cool. That's it. Q&A. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that they want to talk about? Any questions? You want to here for it. Okay.
So say you're a programmer and not an artist. What's an easy way to kind of beef up the quality of your art in the game without actually making it better? Like what's a simple concept that I could apply?
I would think that coming up with those basic rules of what's my dominant color, what's my main character, what's my focal point that I want the player to pay attention to. How is that contrasting with the background? What's the visual hierarchy? I use that word a lot at work. What's the visual hierarchy of what I'm trying to communicate to the player? Generally, there's 3 or 4 things, even in AAA games, of like, here's my ammo count, here's my health, here's my reticle. And making sure that those are in the right order in how you're applying value and chroma to create that meaning, the meaning that we talked about. That will allow you to communicate to your player very clearly about where they should be paying attention, so they're not confused about where their impact is, or when they use this button, it does this instead of that. And anytime that you hear from a player, I don't understand this moment, this is confusing. If it's a visual feedback thing, it's almost always because you haven't clarified out through shape or language or whatever what the point that you're trying to make is, the point that the feedback that the player is getting from the interactions. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
It's a very difficult question. I was gonna make a joke and be like,
find an artist.
Just go make money.
Have you ever played N+?
What's that?
N+.
N+.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like throwing all these rules out the window.
Is it though?
Well, I guess you have to wait. If you look at it, you can tell what character you are based off your bandana.
Which
But
contrasts the environment, right?
yeah.
And it
And then-
animates.
But then you like, if you jump, if you run too fast, you're gonna immediately die. You're like, you have no idea you're gonna do it until you do it.
Yep.
And then you see the time and the bombs, which
Yep.
are the exact same shape, but like a little bit of different colors.
Yep.
You know, like you kind of have to trial and error.
As long as the trial and erroring is uniform, the player will bear with it.
So yeah, it really is uniform.
And N+ takes a lot of the rules that we've talked about. It still applies them. It just takes the spectrum and crunches it down.
Yeah.
People are so perceptive. They can have a game that's 2 values, which I think N is 2 values.
Yeah.
That's still contrast. That's still a light and a dark and a figure and a crowd.
And then you start getting the blood and bodies everywhere.
Yep, which is the fun part.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can be subtle. That would be a dialed-in art style. I think another like a AAA title that keeps popping into my head is Control. I think has anybody played Control? They use like 3 colors, really, in that entire game: red, black, and white. And then there's the kind of rainbow pattern when you've got your magic. That's multiple hues. And that I think really good art direction is when you know you have all these tools and you say, yeah, but I'm going to do it with 3. Pull all this off without contrast by being really smart about how you're applying color and value. And to be honest, people, the average consumer of games or media or visuals, they can smell that execution. Like as much as I feel like art education doesn't really happen in the United States the way I wish it did, people still get it because people will look at a GQ cover and they'll go, that's good photography. That's a really well composed image. And they'll smell that. And when you have an amateur that tries to do the same thing, they don't know all those little tricks. They're not part of that same cultural reality. And you end up with people turning off and saying, this is not worth my time to invest in. I kind of went off on a tangent there. I apologize. Yeah. Any other questions or go ahead.
First off, thanks. That was awesome. I'm not from art, but I'm from psychology. It's so much like cognitive science.
It's 100%. Yeah. The Gestalt theory came from. Yeah.
Yep. So, I'm working with a new client. We're trying to do art style discovery.
Okay.
If you get a client who's just like, I don't like it, but they don't have the words. Why would they?
Yeah.
You know, how do you start to tease apart with them? Like you're showing them sample 1 versus sample 2 on your mood board or whatever. Like, what might be like some 1, 2, 3s you might offer, other than like pirate art director, which is something.
but that's a really complicated question because I would, and I'm gonna try to answer it anyway, but it's a tricky question because the context of that dialogue, the product of that dialogue, the consumer market of that dialogue, all bear down on what that conversation would be.
Well, maybe we could take one step further back and be like, how do we set up those conversations well?
If I'm talking to a game developer about this, if I'm talking to my game director as an art director, and I'm not getting the feedback that I need to do my job, what I'll say is what's our player experience target? How do we want the player to feel in this moment? And that to me is the most fundamental place that I can work from to be like, they should feel really angry in this moment. Not at the game, but like because of the storyline. Okay, cool. That means that we need these colors over here, and I can make angry blue, green, red. It doesn't even matter what color I choose. There are culturally more easy colors to use. Like everybody, if you say what color is angry, everybody's gonna be like red, you know, or yellow, or, you know, they're gonna have a response. That's valuable information. But if you establish your game's theory and your game's spectrums with a color in mind for angry, what's the opposite? When are we not angry? What does that look like? And as long as you create those rules and stick to them, that's all you need to do. So at the beginning of a game, you're having tons of conversations like that. At the end of a game, somebody says, I need this shot to be the scene. We're happy. Okay, cool. That means I just look at the art direction board and I say, we're pink with circles. Good, call it. That's what you pay me for. Does that answer your question?
So basically get out of the jargon and into the underlying emotional user experience.
Exactly. Like, what is the point of whatever product we're selling or trying to get people to pay attention to, and how are we creating rules that viewer can, the promise that we're making to that viewer, consumer, buyer, whatever, how can we make that reliable? And then if we make it reliable, then you can begin telling the story of inversion and counterpoint, contrast, and all those beautiful things. Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Go ahead.
So like when you're playing a game in your free time, is this stuff just registering for you all the time because you know it so well? Like you often kind of enjoy it. At this point, like is it just like so deeply ingrained in you and through your work and through your education and everything, it's really hard to just like ignore everything all the time.
I can't have it all the time. Like it's a superpower person. No, I think ultimately when I'm playing a game, when I'm impressed with a game is when I don't turn on, even as an art director. When I go, wow, I'm in the zone. Whatever dream they're putting me into, I'm in. And if I'm in that dream and I'm not shaken out of it by bad art or even really good art sometimes, that is a good thing for me. As soon as things start to go wrong, I have two buckets. I have I don't like that, but I can deal with it. And then I have I'm not going to play this anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think depending on how much I like the game or how much other things are working in it, I can move that side around. But teasing apart what is working in a game, you can have an opinion, but especially in games, there are so many other variables. There are resource constraints, and there are, well, we did target testing, or this is an old model that we got before the modeler left and we just got stuck with it. There's so many decisions that don't actually drive these conversations that you kind of have to deal with, that even a really good game that has crappy graphics, but I'm still enjoying, I'll bear with them because I'm like, I get it. It's a battlefield out there, and the fact that you got a game out at all is miraculous. And but yeah, that's my general journey on how I do it. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Just one more. And maybe Super Meat Boy, I guess, has lots of examples of this. But like, can you think of examples off the top of your head of games that you think have, art that you really like, but that's like extremely simple? Like, what are like the simplest games you can think of artistically that land for you?
Boy, that I'd have to think about that more than I can do on the point right here. A lot of it begins to turn into an aesthetic decision. Like when we're talking about this, I think if you do this right, gold star, good job. I don't have to like the game. I can still respect good art. But then when you start to do this is when it starts to mean something to me, and you start to feel like you're part of culture, and the game is speaking to you and your life experiences. It's welcoming you into the dialogue that we as creatives are trying to have with everybody universe. And so I think that to me is, my answer is going to be skewed by this in ways that I don't think are helpful. I think there are a lot of games that are successful here that my opinion is irrelevant, and if that makes sense. The games that I like and also think are beautiful deny a lot of other people's really great games in ways that I have to think about. I'm not answering it, but
no, that's right. The alternative motive is like I'm also a programmer. It's just like, what games can I look at? Which ones? It's fair.
I think if you sit back and you say, what games do I absolutely rejoice in? When am I rejoicing as a game player? Let that be your guiding light, and figure out what they're doing and how they're doing it. And that would be for non-artists, I think, the fastest way to get to begin picking apart and apply these rules and see, okay, why is this bringing me joy? I think people love really badly imaged games. People love games that suck with the graphics, and I think that's a testament to game design being the foundation. The player experience is paramount, not art, not programming, not design. It's the culminating moment of that player experience. That's the lowest common denominator. If it's good, it doesn't matter if anything else is right, because you're communicating and you communicate as a creative capability. Yeah, sorry for that non-answer. Go ahead.
I'm gonna approach that same question but from a different direction. What game are you playing right now that you're enjoying? I'm not interested.
I'm playing Ixion right now. It was on sale on Steam last week. It is a space RTS akin to not RTS, but a survivally kind of RTS akin to Frostpunk.
Okay.
I was working on a game at Digimancy that was a similar type of game. And so playing it and seeing them do the thing that we did get funding to do, but doing it well enough that I'm like, wow.
What could have been?
Yeah. It's pleasing. It's pleasing. I feel like a young artist is like, you get to do that. Get all caught up in the ego of it. And an old, haggard 15-year veteran of the industry is like, it exists somewhere. That's great. Good job, dude.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I didn't have a lot of beautiful games queued up in my brain. But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now, and I'm really enjoying.
Nice.
Any other questions? Hey, thanks y'all so much. Really appreciate it.
All right, we have the room for one more hour, so we can do some more playtesting. All right.
Yeah, I heard he's a piece of shit.
It's got just like it's like you start trying to get into your work Monday and like that is perfect day.
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah. No, right. Having that
I can't really keep it together. According to his natural life.
Thanks for hanging out, Tim. I'll leave it up for a little bit. We might play some more games here.
Yeah.
time span, the red tape, I really feel like changed down. You know, but I the self certificate 6 days or back to shit. Nice. That's what it is. It's like when the kids say, and they're like, well, now they think you're like, do you have time for a party?
That's awesome. I would still be twice as fast as Ray. It's so great. I would love to make it. I'm not sure. It's like it's a big idea. See myself big idea. So that's gonna be the thing that drives me. It is a bunch of wire days. And it's if you make something. That might be the I don't know how to be like weird. It's like that's be like awesome. And now sadly, I got AI is going to fix that. Yeah, actually that's the one. Yeah. A lot of C++. basic game that's really good, like art stuff. But there's another guy there.
No. I mean, I watch stuff like I think the one yeah, that's my thing.
Second one is gotcha. So the second one is like and the range that they need for it scale down for both. It's like yeah, sure. You get all
yeah, I didn't think we should, but you know, that's why I'm excited.
But it's matching. I know, but not so like sponge on it. It's like whatever stuff I see, I'm like, yeah, I would have done that. There's something that I actually was. Yeah, I'll try to get it. It's yeah, I reckon I've never played it.
Yeah.
Like so finished so much fun. The first year. Friendly and yeah. So it's the gameplay is like a test.
Yeah, like
The biggest thing maybe is the leftover meal. Is this if I could be I said like their video rendering it's not open for the companies where they're just for example, kids. I mean, like publishing and recording. I can see making like a actually check my game but it's not like and did maybe they're going to change kind of food. Oh no, I wouldn't there.
Oh, you were there in September? Oh, you have been here. You go.
Try to find a way to like, build more
I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing about
Yeah, there's a different flavor, northern apple actually. No,
even in like all the way to like so it's really like I mean it's
I think honestly, like similar to a lot of those people who are simply this past week, like they've been doing so and I like and it's like something like that. Sometimes it's which is really sucky we're in the growth in the team going whatever I'm so really they are because they're extra
So most students know, I might show up late, whatever, you might show up early, whatever, you don't leave early, whatever, you don't leave late. It's not even trying, whatever you feel like you're most students, it was so much. You're like Shakespeare. Yeah.
Anyone still here? Nice music, for the way. Can you leave the VOD up for a day or two so I can watch the previous game streams? Yeah, absolutely. We didn't actually get around to your game, Tim. So we'll have to catch it next time. Yeah, we will get to it. I mean, we gotta vacate the room right now. But this is what we were going to play. Oh, sorry, I don't have my, This is what we were going to play. And when I see a big flashing red notification, I always want to touch it, even though I'm not supposed to on stream. I want to play this. I've been wanting to play it for 56 days at this point. 56 days. And I'm just like, I'll save it for the next stream. But alas. I'm glad you tuned in. It made me feel like setting up the stream was worth it. Yeah, I will definitely, like, so I just, whenever someone posts a their game in the Discord, what I do is I just go and add it to a list of things that I am going to play at some point. And then I do it on stream so they can get more eyeballs and see my reaction to it. Milk it for sweet, sweet content. All right, I'm gonna pack up the stream setup. Hopefully this becomes more of a regular thing. I think we will do the I think we will do the broadcast version of this playtest night going forward. Yeah, I hope I'll see you next month, hopefully. Sometime soon. Unless you're staying over there for longer. All right, let's close MD for a bit. NC soon enough. You're gonna be at MagFest, right? Oh yeah, I forgot you sold the Miata. Yeah, see ya. Yes to Mag. All right, see you there. Hex table will be there.